Hey, what's up, guys? It's Jordan with the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is show 29, and I am pumped that you are here today because today is a little bit different than normal. We're deviating from the normal scheduled program to do something a little bit different, but I'm so excited about it that I just had to share it with you. I think you're going to get a ton of value out of it, and man, I can't wait. So you'll have to give me feedback and tell me what you think about what we have to talk about today after this. But before we get there, I wanted to just take a second, welcome so many of you guys have joined the Laundromat Resource community this last week. I just wanted to say a quick welcome to you. If you haven't yet and you'd like to, you get access to, it's free. You get access to a bunch of tools and resources and the book on how to buy, the keys to buying your first laundromat, bunch of stuff like that. It's totally free. There's a forum for you to ask your laundromat questions, your repair questions, your commercial real estate questions. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do over there and ways that you can get to know other investors and other owners and talk about how to do things properly, how to get your first laundromat, all that stuff, good stuff happening. Go to laundromatresource.com/join. That link and all the other links that we'll talk about today will be in the show notes at laundromatresource.com/show29. Or if you're on YouTube, you can just check down in the description also and get all the links there. Cool. Well, hey, I wanted to just highlight one quick thing. There's a couple cool things happening in the forums. I wanted to highlight one of them. Cameron had a question about a lease today, and leases are hot topics because if you get saddled with a bad lease, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be hurting with your laundromat. It's going to decrease your cash flow. It's going to handcuff you in certain ways. It's going to decrease the value of your laundromat when you try to sell it. Getting a bad lease is it's bad. So you want to make sure you get a good lease there. And Cameron had a question. His lease has a little clause in it. Seemed inconspicuous enough, but I think it has huge implications. But I thought maybe some of you guys could really head over to the forums, laundromatresource.com/forums, and help Cameron out with this question, because the lease has this little clause that basically says the seller can sell the landlord can sell the property at any point in time and give 90-day notice for all the tenants in this strip center to vacate the premises. And he was wondering if that was a concern or not. Obviously, there's some pretty big concerns there. I would say being at any point in time 90 days away from being out of business, or potentially at least, that's a big deal. So, but I thought some of you guys might have some other good insight for him to help him out with his lease negotiation and what to look out for. There's so many different gotchas in there. Nobody needs to be in there giving legal advice. Just make sure you let people know you're not a lawyer if you're not a lawyer. But I do recommend, when you're looking at leases, negotiating leases, hire a lawyer or a broker or somebody who knows the business who can help you negotiate those leases, because there can be these little gotchas that don't seem like a big deal until they are a very big deal. So head over laundromatresource.com/forums. Go help Cameron out with that question and some of the other questions. And while you're there, go introduce yourselves on the forums, the new member introduction forums. It's just an awesome place to get to know each other. There's so much cool stuff happening on the forums. I'm pumped about it, and I love hanging out over there too. One more quick thing for all of you in the Toronto, Canada area. If you're looking for a laundromat for sale in that area, shoot me an email, jordan@laundromatresource.com. That's JORDAN, like Michael Jordan, at laundromatresource.com. We're pretty much the same person. But shoot me an email if you're interested in that. I got a buddy who's got a couple that he's about to put on the market, and hey, maybe one of those will be a great fit for you. So shoot me an email. Again, jordan@laundromatresource.com. Let me just bring in somebody to kind of help me out with the rest of this intro here before we get rolling with what we're doing this week. You maybe remember Rick Rome from show number 18, I believe. He is doing crazy volume of pickup and delivery, and Rick and I have been talking since that episode, and we've got something special for you. But what's up, Rick? How you doing?
Jordan, my man, good to hear your voice. Good to see you. Things are well. Can't complain. We're getting into the fall months over here, and I'm kind of happy to see volume picking up again. But we're still trucking along, man. How about you?
I'm doing awesome, man. Thank you for asking. Everything is kind of rolling over here, right in the groove. Like similarly, things are picking up as the weather's kind of starting to cool down here. It was cool and then hot, and now it's supposed to cool down again. I don't know. California, dude. It's,
totally.
It is what
totally,
it is.
Man.
But hey, we've got something special that we've been working on, and we have just launched, and we wanted to give everybody a little glimpse of it because, well, why don't you tell them what it is?
Shop Talk by Jordan and Rick.
Yes, Laundry Shop Talk.
Man. So every it's funny. It's just so blends in with my day all the time, every week. So I kind of it's like natural to me. But what we're doing is we're just talking about all the great things that we do together and how we can feed off each other, and then take that info and broadcast it, so to say, so everybody else can learn and do what we're doing. And it works great. We're super pumped. I enjoy everything that you've been telling me. I've even put some of it to work. Most of it's been phenomenal. I probably screwed up the stuff that I tried, but wasn't good for me. So I will get to you offline about that, because I messed up on one of those. I'm not going to say yet what it was, but nonetheless, dude, it's awesome. I'm so pumped. I'm excited, and I want everyone to know that everyone can do this. Just strong mind, strong body. Just keep your head down, chop wood, and keep going at it.
Yes. Well, let me tell you. So this is a new podcast that we've launched. It's different format. It's short, 15 to 20-minute episodes. And the reason that we decided to do it is because both he and I, Rick and I, we both get questions all the time about nuts and bolts of the laundromat industry. And that's not really what this podcast is about. So we decided to put together Laundry Shop Talk podcast to just do these shorter episodes where we're hitting the nuts and bolts of the laundromat industry. And we are, getting questions already from some of you guys and other listeners. And we're trying to collect those questions, and we're going to go through those. So check us out, laundryshoptalk.com, or on any of the major podcast players. But Rick, man, I thought it would be cool if this week we just rolled one of our episodes so that people can kind of get a feel for it. What do you think?
I think that'd be awesome. Go for it, man.
Awesome.
I'm excited to listen.
Yeah, me too. Well, hey, we're going to give you a little sneak peek of one of our episodes if it's something that interests you, and it should, because Rick, man, I've made money just recording these podcasts with you, and from what I've learned from you. I've literally put money in my pocket because of this podcast, and I think a lot of other people will too. So check it out, Laundry Shop Talk podcast. Here's a little snippet, a little episode for you to listen to. And then, man, we'll be back to our regular rhythm next week here on the Laundromat Resource Podcast. And then also go subscribe to the Laundry Shop Talk podcast. There's a lot of laundry going on over here.
A lot of laundry, right?
All right, Rick, thanks for coming on, man. Super excited about what we got going on, and hope a bunch of people will jump on board.
Absolutely, brother. I'll talk to you soon. And I look forward to this endeavor. I think it's going to be so awesome.
Me too, man.
And thank you, everyone, for all the questions and emails. It's phenomenal. I mean, it's just great. Just keep them coming, and we'll just keep them coming. And look for a special guest soon. All sorts of great stuff. We're really, really excited.
Yes. All right, man. Well, let's roll this episode, and we'll catch you guys at the end of the episode. See ya. Hey guys, how you doing today? Jordan, how's it going? Welcome to Laundry Shop Talk with Rick and Jordan. How you feeling, my man?
I'm feeling excellent. How you doing over there?
I'm doing great. It's a nice day outside, and weekend is coming by, so I'm excited. About today's show, talking about how to hire and find good candidates to work for you, whether they be hourly or management level type of employees.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is I talk to a lot of owners, and the most successful laundromat owners that I have talked to hinge on having a really, really good employee staff, and particularly a really, really good manager. So I think finding a good manager, if you're in that place, or finding good employees that are the right fit is really key to having a successful business. So I think this is an awesome topic. Super excited.
100% agree. And I think that's it's really a fabric of you. right? Because this is your business, this is your baby, so to say, and you want your employees to have the same mindset that you have going into whatever it is, whether it's how to handle a disgruntled customer, or how to properly wash down and clean the facility, how do you drop-off bag, how do you where do you put the supplies that you need to clean in the bucket where you get it to do all that stuff. So all those things that I think are just a fabric of who you are, and it just transcends into your business. So, I'll take a stab at this one first, if you don't mind. So
yeah, but real quick,
sure.
I love what you're saying, and I think a lot of those things can be trained. So I think it's important to find the right person with the right mindset. And that's what we're hunting. Like we can train employees how we want them to fold clothes. We can train employees to do all that stuff. But if you don't have a trainable employee, or if you don't have an employee that's going to care about the business, then it's not gonna work out. You're not gonna have a great employee, and you're gonna have to cycle through the next one. So I'm excited to hear what you had to say on how. I know you've hired a lot of people, so.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Anyone can write on a piece of paper that says that you did all these great things, but the proof will come when you actually put into action. So the first things we do is where do we hire people? Where do we find people? So since we do a lot of pickup and delivery, a great place that we have always been able to find people is Indeed. It's very affordable.
It's just Indeed.com, right?
That's correct. Yep. Very affordable, easy to find people, multi-language people. And in fact, they even have a survey where you can ask people to answer certain questions about the job or what it is prior to it. So like a screening, which was great. I found that to be very helpful. And then generally we call them in. Unfortunately, yes, I would say, of the 10 people that we call in, probably 2 of them show up. That is a common thing. It's unfortunate. People think they're too good for a job or who knows what, but it's just the reality. It's a numbers game in that regard. And then, of course, of those 2 people that come in, they might not even be a good candidate at the end of the day. So you have to be a bit cautious about that, and you lead into it. Some of the questions that I always ask is...
Before you jump into that, I want to ask,
sure.
If you can, a couple of hard numbers. So you say about 20% come in. You have any idea ballpark-wise about how many applicants it takes for you to find a good employee? I know it's going to vary widely.
I think it varies, Jordan, based on the avenue you use to find them. So we also, I was going to save this for after this part, but we also offer a referral program to our employees. So if they refer somebody and they work for us for 6 months, they will get a $50 bonus, thank you bonus nice. From us as well, right? And I also think it's important how do you retain these people, right? Because you don't want to go through this again. So another thing that we offer is we offer free laundry for our employees. Now, they cannot do it while they are working. They need to come in on their day off, or they need to clock out and do it at lunch or whatever it is. But we offer free wash, dry, soap for our employees. It's a simple perk, and I think it goes a long way. We also, like for our folding people, they're always on their feet, so we give nice soft mats, like rubber mats to stand on. It helps them, helps their back. Another thing is we always try and do a pizza party once a month, if not more often, where I'll buy pizzas for everybody on Friday or whatever day it is. It's just little things like that. We've even done actually tutoring, where we have brought in a tutor, and the staff would bring in their children to do math or reading or English. Little things like that go a real long way to building goodwill. And I think goodwill is obviously critical to doing that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I love the referral idea, because people tend to hang out with people that are like them. So when you have a good employee who's just a solid person and they know somebody who they're going to refer, chances are pretty good they're going to also be a pretty good employee. So I love that, incentivizing that. let me go back to the Indeed real quick, because I want to try to, if you know off the top of your head, I want to try to pin you down on a little more numbers.
Sure.
Can you give me a ballpark of what it costs? You said it's pretty affordable to
50. It depends on the job. Like drivers, I'll just use that one as an example, because there seems to be a lot of drivers, I guess, people with their own vehicles. Generally, we'll spend $50 and get about, I don't know, 100, 150 applicants.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That's almost too many.
Almost. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately not, but yes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, yeah, because, drivers are, I always say they're like the wide receivers of the NFL. They're kind of prima donnas. They think sometimes the grass is greener on the other side of the fence, and it's not. So, we get great results there. Also, honestly, we go to I've even walked around to like some of the other businesses in the area, like the barber shop. There's a hardware, not a hardware, but like it's like a hardware store, I guess. But more, but for commercial work. I've gone in there and spoken to them. I've gone to the hair salon, nail salons in the area as well.
Getting your nails done?
Yeah. No, I wasn't getting my nails done.
Don't lie. You don't. We're friends here, man. We're all friends and family here. It's okay. No judgment.
No, I got chubby fingers. I don't think anyone wants to do my nails. But nonetheless, I mean, I've done, I guess, non-traditional and traditional. I've never put an ad in the newspaper. Oh, duh. I've called agencies, job agencies. I've used them before as well. And another thing sorry, not to jump back, and part of my interviewing process is obviously, how long have you stayed in another job, right? So if someone's like, I was there for 6 months, then I was there for 6 months, and I was here for 12 months, well, you can expect that's going to be the same with you. So you want someone with longevity. So someone who comes in and says, oh, I was at this other job for 3 years. I was at another job for 4 years. And you know what? You might want to pay up a little extra for someone like that, because it shows that they have some discipline and they have some loyalty, I suspect. And, it might be worth, instead of paying them the minimum wage, pay them an extra $1, because that extra $40 a week it may cost you if you give them 40 hours a week, I think is pocket change relative to the amount of money you would spend on Tylenol for the headaches you're going to get of people not showing up and doing work, right? So call it like insurance, I guess. We all have insurance, but no one ever wants to use it.
Yeah. And I love that. I was going to say, well, I'll go back to what I was going to say in a second, but you're totally right. I had a period of time at one of my laundromats where, this was an unattended laundromat. So I was just looking for somebody for a couple hours a day to come in and clean and make sure everything's working and everything like that. And I was just running through the people. They were just every 6 months to a year, was, rolling through people. And when they quit, I'd have some like temporary backups, but nothing long term. So then I ended up going and cleaning every night. It was horrible. So yeah, I love what you're talking about here. And also, when I'm going around, wherever shop, like kind of what you were saying, I literally have a list of people that I interact with at, the wholesale store that I go get my supplies for. There's a guy there that I'm like, man, if I ever have a position open up, I'm going to go to that guy and I'm going to offer him the job, because he's a good worker. He's super respectable. And respectful, and I just love his attitude and disposition. I have a list of probably 15 people like that, where someday I intend to hire them for some role, because they're just great quality people. So,
well, 100%. I'm going to tell you a great. I think it's a great story. I'm very proud to say it. My general manager, she started as a folding girl. Okay, in my company. She has educated in Mexico, college degree, just wanted to come to America to make money and work. She had got her green card and all that good stuff. And she happened to live by the laundry. She walked in and said, hey, you need work. And I'm like, yeah, great. And hired her, and after basically 2 months, I heard her speaking English, perfectly, which was great. She could, do everything that you're supposed to do. And I was like, you know what? Let's move you up to clerk, right? And then she became an assistant manager. Then she became a manager, and now she's a general manager. And in fact, she's now done such a phenomenal job. It's so great. And this is all over a 4-year period. Mm-hmm. And what makes it, in my opinion, so special is that she actually had the attitude of like, I'm going to try and do my best no matter what it is. And it just shined through. And I just love, high tide raises all boats. And that's the attitude that she held and the prevailing situation there. And mind you, I had a business partner. I had multiple general managers in the interim. None of them, including myself, could not cut it the way she does. So I am blessed and lucky to have such a special, awesome person. But not to pat my own back, but I'm going to say she is a fabric of what I believe in. And she took what I said to heart, and I told her I want to create upward mobility. And now I have probably about, I would think 7 or 8 people who've been with me for, let's just say, 4+ years, who know my business inside and out, and this is my baby, but they love it as much, if not more, than I do. And that to me is so special because they took what I said, they believed in what I said, the goods and the bads, my yelling, my happy, my sad, my all those things, and it's just, you get, if you want respect from your employees, you need to give respect. Okay, you are the boss, and you have the mentality to understand, or sort of say, brush off whatever they say, good, bad, or indifferent, so you can continue on with your day and raise the playing field that you're playing on. And when they see that, they love to see the chief get dirty. And when they see the chief getting dirty, they say, I want to follow that guy. And that's what happens. So it doesn't happen overnight, guys and girls out there. It took me almost 5 years to get to a Wendy, okay? And I'm super proud of her and what we've built. And I look forward to moving forward and onward and upward with her. And hopefully one day I can go out to greener pastures and focus more on high-level stuff. And she runs a business better than me now.
Yeah.
So it's fantastic.
That's what you want. Yeah. Well, let me recap real quick, just some different ways to find employees. And maybe if we have time, we can talk a little bit about what kinds of things you like to ask them or I like to ask them when we're interviewing. So real quick, Indeed seems to be a real big one for you. About $50, give or take, to get 100+ applicants even. So that's awesome. You've used some job placement, what'd you call those?
Agencies, like job agencies.
Yeah. Agencies, so you've used those. Referrals, which is a huge one.
Yep.
I love that. Promoting up through the ranks from, internal promotion.
Yep.
I've found some of my best employees just in the community as I've gotten to know people in the community, and I have a need open up, and I'll just talk to them because I know them. I've built a relationship with them. I know what kind of person they are. They care about the laundromat because it's in their community. It's the one that they use. It's the one that their family, their friends use. They like it because they get to be there and they get to see the people in the community, and they're going to take really good care of it because they have that pride. Community pride. So that's another, really great place to find employees. So there's a whole host of ways to find people. There's some of them right there. I'm sure there's a ton more. But let's move on if we have time. Do we?
Yeah, we got a few more minutes. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's talk about some things that you're asking people. How are you trying to find out who these people are and if they're going to be a good fit for your company?
Sure. So, with labor laws, you have to be careful on what you ask and how you ask it, right? So, you simple questions like, I feel like if you know how to use a computer, you are either on, you're sending an email at least once a day. You're interacting with some type of social media platform, whether it be a Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or something like that. So I ask, roundabout questions that kind of will help me lead to a sounder decision, right? So if I have somebody, if they have an email address and they're like, no, I don't, chances are they're not going to be able to work the POS, or it's going to be a big struggle. Mm-hmm. Not to say that they can't, but chances are they don't.
Learning curve, yeah.
You know, so those are some things I would ask. I would also ask about, I like to ask about family. Are you family focused? You know, that's fantastic. You take care of your parents, or do you have your own children? If you do, fantastic. You know, do you read to them? Things like that. Just something that would make me feel like they have good family values, or they believe in family values. And, you know, sometimes people have the best family values, but unfortunately they don't get a fair shake sometimes. So being able to identify people who have good values like that, and I think family is the number one thing in my life. I think it's important. And again, it's an end around way to get to a decision, or hopefully make a better qualified decision about an individual and their characteristics, because you just can't ask them certain things based on labor laws. So I ask other pertinent information that I think are character builders, frankly.
Do you ask the whole "what are your strengths and weaknesses" question? I know it's a controversial one, and some people love it, some people hate it. I always hate getting asked it. I feel like it's a trap, but I don't know. Do you use it?
You know, it depends. I think at least the people that I'm hiring or that are applying for positions, I don't know if they're built for that kind of answer, frankly. I think you have to put it in terms that work for them and that justify and give you that feeling of, okay, you know what? I didn't do this. I didn't grow up like this, but it doesn't mean that I didn't, that the person's not a good quality candidate, right? So, yeah, I think you need to understand. It's like kind of like back in the day, if you saw someone with a tattoo and you'd be like, ooh, that's a rebel, right? I mean, now everybody has tattoos, so it's no big thing if you got a tattoo or you have multiple tattoos for that matter. So I try and figure out the best way to get to that place in my mind that makes you say, you know what? You really ultimately don't know until you try with somebody, but let's try and make it so as friendly as possible. It's kind of like when you ask a girl out on a date. You know what? You don't know what it's going to be like until you go out and you have a conversation and talk with each other. And what I always used to laugh at.
I like that you're assuming she's going to say yes when you ask her.
Yeah, good point. Oh, believe me, I got a lot of Heismans. Believe me. But my point was
Sorry, I interrupted the flow.
Totally off track. My point was that when you do get to that opportunity to talk to them, you find out if that value is there. And then what I always laugh is that I used to have girlfriends, not friends who were girls, who always would be like, well, I ask myself, is this a guy I can marry? And I say, why would you ask that on a first date? That's a lot of pressure to add to somebody. So think of it this way. If you're hiring someone to be a wash leader, a wash team leader, or a clerk, or whatever it is, focus on that first. Let them do that job well. Because if you're starting to say, oh my, we're 2 weeks into it, I'm going to promote this person to a manager or assistant manager or whatever it is right off the bat, I think it's a little premature, right? It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So, take time to figure it out. Give them enough time to succeed. Give them some mundane tasks and make sure that they do those mundane tasks really well all the time. But don't kill them with mundane tasks, because then they might lose focus and you might let a fish off the hook when you had a good fish. So, I think there's many different things to think about. But most importantly, what I find most important is it's a culture of who you are, and that's your business. And you need to find people who believe in what you believe in, or will follow what you say in your beliefs in how to run a business. Okay? That to me is the most important thing in hiring people, because at the end of the day, like I said, you don't know until you try, and that's what it is.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, one of the things that I like to do is I like to try to think about beforehand. Okay, what are the key things that I need this person to either do or who I need them to be. So for example, if I just need an attendant to come and work at my laundromat, well, I can train them how to clean the machines. I can train them, how to smile and greet customers and that kind of thing.
Yep.
But I can't train them to be reliable. I can't train them to be consistent. So instead of asking, hey, what's your biggest strengths and weaknesses, trying to figure out, are they going to be consistently reliable? Are they going to have a positive attitude? Instead, what I like to do is ask questions that will reveal that answer indirectly. So, for example, if I'm looking for somebody who's consistent, going back to your previous example, looking back at job history and seeing, were they there for the long term, or did they jump around every 6 months? And so finding information out like that, talking about, if they are going to have a positive attitude or not, maybe asking some probing questions that will reveal what kind of attitude that they do have, what kind of disposition they have, and if they're going to be good interacting with your customers, because that's so key. There's tons of my customers at my laundromat who come to my laundromat because my attendants are friendly and the ones down the street are not. And even if they have newer machines or a bigger facility, they still like coming to mine because I have really friendly attendants. And so, asking questions that get to what you need, the things you can't train for, I think is a better way to go than asking what are your strengths and weaknesses.
Brilliant, bro. I think that's fantastic, and that's the right way. And I don't think there's a wrong question. Well, I should say there's never a wrong answer. There could be some wrong questions to ask, but at the end of the day, you have to, inside your stomach, it's got to make you feel good about what you're doing, and who you're going to be working with, because they're babysitting your baby, right? Your store, your business, that's your baby. So I think that's great, man. I think that's great.
Awesome. Well, super good discussion about how to hire people and maybe a few questions to ask them. We'll get more into in future episodes, how to train them, how to make sure they're a good fit for your culture, how to develop culture. I mean, we're going to get into all of that stuff in future episodes. I hope you enjoyed this little taste of it on the Laundry Shop Talk with Rick and Jordan, and we will see you in the next episode.
See you, bud.
Peace.
All right, so that's the Laundry Shop Talk podcast that Rick, Rome, and I are starting. We've launched a couple of episodes. I know that there is some audio stuff that we're still working out. It's early for us, but we recorded this way back a while ago, and so it's been getting better and better. So hopefully you're not put off too much by the audio quality. I know it's bad, but we're getting it sorted out. But anyways, I'm excited about it because I get asked all the time about these nuts and bolts questions of the laundromat business, and that's what we're going to be addressing. So, man, go over there and subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube. You know what? We don't have it on YouTube yet. Man, we got to get it on YouTube. But if you're on a podcast and you're listening to this, go to your favorite podcast app and subscribe to the Laundry Shop Talk podcast. And if you haven't subscribed to the Laundromat Resource Podcast, you got to get subscribed to that one too, because there's so much value coming every week from this podcast. It blows me away. So make sure you subscribe, and we would love your questions. We want to answer the questions that you guys have. And both of us are experienced owners and operators, and we're interacting with people all the time. So we have lists of questions that we think you guys have, but we'd rather know what you have. So shoot us an email, go to the website, laundryshoptalk.com. There's a form there you can fill out and submit your question. But man, we're super excited about it. Hope you guys find a lot of value out of it, and we're open to feedback. So give us all your feedback, good, bad, ugly, whatever. We want it to be just a top-notch podcast, and we want you to be excited about it, and we want you to learn something from it every single episode. All right. Thank you guys. I hope that wasn't too far of a deviation from what we were doing, but we'll be back. We got an awesome interview for you next week, and I'm very excited about it for you and for me because it was really cool. So we'll see you next week for the Laundromat Resource Podcast. This is Jordan. Peace.
Bye.